Back in February, the Cuphead Show premiered on Netflix to huge success. It was no doubt that a franchise as popular as Cuphead would become a great cartoon, especially with the creators of the game working on it. We enjoyed watching the first batch of 12 episodes when they first came out, and we can't stop rewatching them. We love the show so much that we just had to talk about all the great things about it, and why more people should watch it. And of course, the second drop of the show is coming out August 19th. So now is the perfect time to catch yourself up on the episodes as we wait for new ones. I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and this is everything we loved about the Cuphead Show. We love the fact that anyone can watch the show. And what we mean by that is that you don't need to have played the games to enjoy it. It's written as a separate canon from the games, but the characters are all the same, and they revolve around the same concept: Cuphead losing his soul to the devil. Of course, some stuff was changed to make things more appropriate for younger audiences, but it still works really well.
Let's tell Elder Kettle the good news!
And it's a great way to introduce more people to the Cuphead franchise. Speaking of changes, the change from Cuphead owing his soul to the devil because he gambled at the casino to him losing at skee-ball is actually pretty brilliant.
Loser!
Like with gambling, it shows Cuphead's overconfidence in his abilities, and he doesn't notice or recognize the consequences until it's too late. We can't talk about the Cuphead Show without talking about the animation. The animators really did their homework on 1930s cartoons, mimicking the styles and techniques used back then. This includes the character designs using 3D backgrounds, the grain effect, and more. They even do the episode title cards in this way, very similar to the early Looney Tunes title cards. On the topic of 1930s animation, there are so many callbacks and references to animation from that era, especially Disney and Fleischer Studios. We've got Felix's initiation references during the devil chase scene in the first episode, the devil painting the fence a la the Sorcerer's Apprentice from Fantasia, and a ton in the episode Ghosts Ain't Real, just to name a few. We really love Cuphead and Mugman, as they make great protagonists.
Great, let's move.
Their contrasting personalities also seem to both land them and get them out of trouble, and it's enjoyable to see what wacky hijinks they're up to each episode, usually thanks to Cuphead. We really like the show's humor, which is a blend of slapstick and wordplay. It's a great show to watch when you're looking for a good laugh. One of the things that we laugh at is all the characters' facial expressions. They're just so over the top and ridiculous, and it's awesome. The devil as an antagonist is great. He is the right blend of being charming, funny, and terrifying at the same time.
Looks like we have a real show-off.
While obviously we don't want him to succeed in collecting Cuphead's soul, we also enjoy watching him try, especially when things don't go his way. Even though Cuphead and Mugman are the main characters, we love how the show focuses on other characters as well. We got an entire episode dedicated to Elder Kettle, Miss Chalice, and King Dice. We get to see what goes on with the devil in the underworld and Porkrind's black market. It's really great how much thought is put into other characters. The Easter eggs from the game are also really cool. Cuphead pulls up his pants before he plays skee-ball, like his pre-battle animation in the game. The close-up of the devil's eye in the intro is like the animation the devil does before his boss fight. Then there's Clip Joint Calamity being played in the Ribby and Croaks episode.
All part of the show, folks! All part of the show!
Even some of the mini-bosses from the King Dice battle, like Mangosteen, and Pip and Dot in the background or on posters, and the Blind Spectre from the Phantom Express in a group of ghosts. We also love how the show adds more to the Cuphead characters than that was already in the game. Things like how the Cup brothers love ice cream, cookies, and have a sweet tooth in general. Mugman has stage fright so bad that he literally freezes like a statue. Elder Kettle being an army veteran and former athlete. Then there's King Dice having a game show, and the fact that it's confirmed that Elder Kettle raised the Cup brothers when they were babies.
You boys are family.
And we definitely can't forget to say that the intro is awesome. It perfectly sets the tone of the show and the dynamic between the Cup brothers. Cuphead gets himself and Mugman into all sorts of trouble, and it's usually up to Mugman to get them out. Not to mention, the song is pretty catchy as well. Also, a quick mention of the animation of Mugman flying his plane, which is also a reference to the games, around a giant Cuphead head in space. Not only does it resemble older movie studio logos, but it's also just adorable. We also like how, while while of course the show is appropriate for kids, like many other cartoons, they do sneak in some jokes for adults, and even has some dark moments, so there's something for everyone. We think the characters are written amazingly. They could have easily been written as one-dimensional. Cuphead is confident, Mugman is cautious, Elder Kettle old, and the devil evil, and so on. But this is not the case. We see that Cuphead has his limits, and his I ain't worried about it attitude is just a facade.
My brother Mugman is the smartest person I know.
Mugman can be brave when he needs to be, especially when he has to save his brother. Elder Kettle has a pep in his step and still has the energy he had during his glory days. And the devil is evil, yes, but he feels other emotions as well, and is even able to get along with Cuphead, although it was for a short amount of time. Because of this, the characters do feel real, and we can relate to them. We also really love Miss Chalice in her episode In Charm's Way. She's such a charmer, hence the name of the episode, and such a talented singer and dancer. Also, the mystery behind her character has us so intrigued, and we can't wait to see more of her in the second drop.
I like ya, but not enough to tangle with the cops.
The brotherly relationship between Cuphead and Mugman is portrayed perfectly. They clearly get on each other's nerves, just like most siblings do, but at the same time, they're the best of friends and are always there for one another. The characters' voices are also something we enjoy. The voices fit the characters so much, and we couldn't imagine the characters with other voices. And based on what we've seen from the behind-the-scenes stuff and the table read from Geek Week, the actors really get into character well, and seem to have a great time. The change from Ribby and Croaks being just boxers to retired boxers running a fancy restaurant, we feel worked really well. Also, the fact that they keep on fighting each other is pretty funny. We thoroughly enjoyed the music in the show, both the background music and the songs. Like we mentioned earlier, some of the compositions from the game are actually used in the show too, but the original compositions are just as great, and they fit the era of the 1930s perfectly.
Nothing scary about a graveyard. It's just a yard.
We love how quotable the show is. There are so many moments and lines that really stick in your head. While of course we enjoy seeing faces we knew from the game, the show's original characters like Stickler, Sherman and Doris and Baby Bottle, just to name a few, were fun to watch as well, even if they were just a one-time gag. King Dice's episode of Roll the Dice was probably our favorite episode.
Roll the dice!
We love how charismatic King Dice is, and how he was slowly losing his cool with Cuphead ruining his show. We loved the continuity of the show. The two-part sweater episodes were a fun continuation of the devil trying to steal Cuphead's soul storyline. There's going to be an episode continuing where the last episode, In Charm's Way, ended, and so far these work really well. We also loved the personalities and slight design changes given to the Root Pack. The fact that they're just basically partygoers that invade and take over places to hold shindigs was clever. Finally, the last thing we want to say basically sums up what we've already said. So much care and effort were put into making this show, and each episode really shows that. And it was hard to pick out a favorite episode, because all of them are a lot of fun. The Cuphead Show crew did a really good job making an entertaining cartoon, but let us know in the comments section what you loved the most about the Cuphead Show. And let us know if you're excited for Season 2. Make sure to hit that notification bell and binge our other Cuphead videos. But most importantly, stay wicked.